Hey everyone, welcome to Cool Chess. Today's video is all about fun, not so much about studying. I've got 10 chess moves for you that I bet you'll remember forever. These are my personal favorites, but if you feel like something's missing, feel free to drop a comment, okay? Alright, let's check out the first one. Black goes for a dubious line in an already questionable opening, and thinks he's being clever with an intermediate check with bishop b4. Surely nothing could go wrong, right? Wrong. Instead of blocking the check with a standard developing move, which would give black a chance to trade pieces, white charges forward with the king, gaining a critical tempo. Now the knight has to move. If it goes to e7, it blocks the bishop's retreat. If it goes to b6, white gains another tempo and fences in the bishop even further. Either way, the outcome is clear. The bishop will be trapped, and white is a clean piece up. For black, it's time to resign. All right. Moving on to number 9. But before we dive in, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment. It really helps us make more videos like this. Okay, here we go. You might think this one's easy, maybe even beneath your pay grade. It looks simple, deceptively simple, but don't be fooled. It all starts with rook to f8, pinning the queen. I'm only giving you credit if you saw it all the way through, every twist, every idea. Did you catch the counterpin? Rook to d8? Nice, we're getting there. But the final blow? Queen to h4. Now the pinned rook on f8 pins the queen on f6 and she's completely helpless. That's what I call Pinception. In 8th place, we have a classic opening trap in the Grunfeld. There are over 10 games in the database where black walks right into it. Bishop to b4, and the black queen is trapped on a3. Time to resign, right? Not so fast. Queen swings to f3, and suddenly it's not black falling for the trap. It's white, a double attack, hitting g2 and e4 at once, and if white dares to take the queen, oh, it gets ugly, not for black, but for white. All right, let's move on and shift gears a bit. Coming in at number 7 is one of my personal favorites. So why isn't it ranked higher? Because it takes a bit of context to fully appreciate the beauty of the solution. It's easy to see that the white king is exposed and black should be going after it, but it's also clear, white is solid, and that dangerous passed pawn on the a-file is a real problem. If black isn't quick enough, that pawn screams danger. So here's an idea. If we can get the queen to the h-file, it's checkmate. And look, there's a free square on h6 just waiting for her. Maybe we go queen e8, f8, h6? No. White stops it in one move with queen to d2, then pushes the a-pawn, and suddenly the tables turn. So, what else is there? Black magic. Almost feels like cheating. Instead of h6, black chooses to checkmate from h7. Not only is it possible, white can't stop it at all. Truly mind-blowing. It starts with h5, quickly followed by f5, and finally, the quiet killer, e5. The path is clear. And the queen, unstoppable. She will land on h7, and it will be checkmate. If white captures on g6, it only delays the inevitable. Because then, the black queen teleports to h8 via g7, and just like that, it's lights out. The white king never stood a chance. Ingenious. Time for number 6. This one? It's just a single move, but one you'd never expect. Black is threatening to capture the queen, and if white's queen moves, he can even deliver checkmate on g2. And to make things worse, he's sneakily defending the back rank, the c8 square, all the way from h3. It looks grim for white. But instead of resigning, white finds a brilliant little pawn move, cutting off the queen's defense of the c8 square, threatening mate, and attacking the queen on h3 at the same time. And just like that, it's game over. Simple, surprising, and absolutely brilliant. We've reached the halfway mark, and it's time to crank things up a notch. Some of the positions ahead might look familiar. There are some legendary moves lurking in the top half of this list. But trust me, even if you've seen them before, you're in for a treat. Number 5 is a masterpiece from Shirov, in an endgame that might look dry and technical at first glance. But don't be fooled. Shirov played a move that would never cross the mind of an ordinary player. Black is up 2 pawns, but in opposite-colored bishop endgames, the win is always tricky. This one is no exception. In fact, it's easier to find the best move here if I ask you, what's the dumbest move you can think of? No joke. Pause the video if you want. and tell me what would be the last move you'd consider playing here as black. Got it? Yep. That one. That's the winning move. It turns out, it's all about time. Black needs just enough time to bring the king across and support the pawn promotion. And with this spectacular bishop move, black squeezes out one extra tempo, just enough to win the game comfortably. The rest of the game plays out cleanly, nothing fancy. But that one move, pure brilliance, a true gem. Coming in at number 4, we've got another innocent-looking endgame. But oh boy, the move black plays here, not innocent at all. I'm honestly not even sure what to say about it. So let's just watch the only winning move unfold. Yep, king to g7, breaking every rule in the book, leaving the rook on e4 hanging. The idea is this: white's rook on g4 is completely trapped, and the only quick way to free it would have been f takes e5, check. But black plays king to g7, shutting down that idea before it even happens. That's what we call a prophylactic move, anticipating the opponent's plan and stopping it in advance. And now, that a-pawn is simply unstoppable. Crazy? Absolutely. But it works, so it's genius. The next moves for black are simple: a3, then a2, and finally a1 queen. And there's nothing white can do about it. All right, let's see what gems we've got left as we step onto the podium. The top 3, and there's something special. The black king is exposed, so he does the sensible thing. Trades queens with queen b3, aiming to simplify. White will recapture, and the game continues, or so it seems. Instead, white plays bishop to h6. Not just shocking, it's the only winning move. The threat? Rook to h7, checkmate. And if black captures the bishop, then comes rook to g8, followed by rook 1g7, and it's lights out. Black finds a way to avoid immediate mate, but gives up too much material in the process. A true masterpiece by Vladimirov. All right, let's keep it rolling. It's time for number 2. This one is brought to you by the magician from Riga himself, Mikhail Tal, arguably the most creative player of all time. And here he is on the white side, and to make this masterpiece even more incredible, he played it during a simul. There's already pressure building against black, who tries to relieve it by trading rooks. But as we've learned, in Tal's world, chess doesn't always obey the laws of physics. And pieces? They're not always recaptured. G takes f6 is just the beginning. Few exchanges, and now f takes g7, like being struck by lightning. The pawn is unstoppable, and it promotes with mate. Oh, and the queen is being attacked too. Absolute wizardry. All right, it's time for the winner, Short versus Timon. A legendary game, and there's no way I could leave it off this list. White is completely dominating the position, but breaking through isn't easy. If white plays slowly, black might just untangle, and with the better pawn structure and a strong bishop, he could even turn the tables. There's only one straightforward winning move, and it's not easy to find. The best move, the final shock, the winner of this list, king to g3. Wait, what? Why? How? For what reason? It turns out, white has a plan: march the king all the way to h6 and create an unstoppable mating threat. And even king to h7 can't stop it. Why? Because either the g6 pawn collapses or knight g5 check crashes through. Black is helpless. And so, white goes on to play one of the most ridiculous king walks ever seen, and makes it look completely logical. And with this final beauty, we've reached the end of our list. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe. You might be the first to catch the follow-up, the most shocking moves never played in chess. Let us know in the comments. Did you agree with the list? Did we miss any of your favorites? Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.